Greetings. Let's say this is our graph, and let's talk about an example how we can look at what is so-called graph miner. So graph miner, it's a concept that basically is defined as follows: that you can take a graph. Let's say we're now taking this G, so this graph, and if we choose to remove vertices, remove edges, or so-called contract edges, we can create a graph miner. So a graph miner is a graph created by these three things. So again, there's many cases where we can create a graph miner. A graph miner of this can be this changed into some graph that has some of the vertices or edges removed. But let's make it more interesting. Let's do all three things. So let's say we, for example, create a graph miner. Let's say it's called H, graph miner of G. And to test all the three things that we can do, let's remove, okay, I'll just label the things that we'll do something with. So let's say I call this V1, this is V1, this is E1, like edge number 1, this is labeled V1. We don't have to label remaining vertices perhaps. And then also I'll call this E2. All right. So if we have that, then basically, if we do all the three things that a graph miner can be created from, well, removing a vertex, removing an edge, and contracting an edge. Contracting an edge means removing the edge and connecting the two vertices that are on that edge. So let's say this graph miner example, I remove E1, so I remove E1, I remove V1, and I contract this E2. So what will happen is, well, I'll draw the vertices in the same places. E1 will not be there, so there's no edge here anymore. V1 is removed, so both these edges are removed. And if E2, we contract this edge E2, we should make these two vertices merged into one. So we remove this vertex, and when you remove a vertex, you also remove the edges that go to this vertex. So we remove also both of these edges by that logic, okay? So what we do is we do G minus E1 minus V1, and we also contract this. So we basically also remove, if we call this, what it will mean in this case is if this is V2, well, basically we also remove this E2, and we also remove the V2 because contracting means merging it. So these two will merge, but we remove this. So what these two will merge is into one. And so they will merge into, whether if it's V2 or this one, it's kind of the same idea. So what we have left of all this is basically these two vertices. So this is an example of graph miner.